Alright, people, here it is. This is the ending of the game, episode 8, Endings in Betrayal, part 3 for Legendary on Hard difficulty. So, coming into this area, the strategy that I found to always work, it in part came from forum user on the xboxachievements.com site, or .org, I forget what it is. But his name is, let me look at it again. It's Mercurier NL, I think I said that right. But basically, the way he said to go about this area, on hard, but I used it on easy and normal also, is to deal with the first terminal, go to the third terminal, and then deal with the second one. Since dealing with the second one, I noticed that at least for my time through, the door that the enemies spawn from, I ended up having it close and open like 4 different times, so I was having a bunch of soldiers spawn on me. So saving the second one for last actually made that part somewhat more bearable. But when I came into this area, I tried to catch the 2 doors as they were opening with grenades, so I could limit the black soldiers actually going into cover and making things a lot harder trying to kill them than I normally would have to deal with. But what I do is that I'll destroy the first terminal and I'll go into this room, and I pretty much use the cover of the terminal structure to block the fire from the Black Order soldiers. And I've usually gotten lucky, and I've never had a werewolf actually come into this area to attack me. They usually kind of get stuck in the doorway. I have had at least like one randomly find its way, like get through the doorway, but for the most part they always ended up not being able to get through, and they would just stand at the doorway, kind of just like waiting for me to move up. So I could very easily just unload on them and get their animus. But you want to make sure that the Black Order soldiers here are dead. You want to keep this aniform device intact, since it's not come in use after you destroy the third terminal. And I kind of failed on my grenade. I should have used an actual grenade, since throwing the grenades they somehow can go through the fencing. Since when you move up to the second terminal, it spawns in a bunch of Black Order soldiers. If I had thrown a grenade, I probably could have gotten most of those Black Order soldiers with that grenade, but I ended up having to actually run back into this room to deal with them. But once it seems like the coast is clear, you can start moving up, and as you'll see when I come up here, the doorway where those guys spawn from, you'll see that it's actually closed. So I have the potential at any time for that door to open back up and have a bunch of soldiers spawn in. So I'm being very cautious, waiting for these guys to come through, but also being ready to possibly have to deal with Black Order soldiers coming out of that doorway. But if you run up here, try and get a grenade in the back of that room, and I actually ended up getting lucky, and I got pretty much all the guys in this back area with that first grenade. So I only had that one last guy to deal with. But when I got back here, I kind of took a moment to reload my weapons, and I'm looking to that doorway, just being prepared for it possibly to close on me, since this one and the second terminal, the doors that the enemies come from, they seem to have a more likely chance of closing and spawning more guys, and that was the werewolf that actually got into the room with me, but I was able to kill him before he could attack me. But as you'll see, that door is now opened. I think it usually is like groups of 3 that will come out of that room, and as you can see, that door ended up closing, and then a new set of guys spawned out, and I'm like trying to run into the room to keep it from spawning the guys in, but it keeps closing on me, so I'm dealing with the werewolf, and then I'm also dealing with the soldiers that are respawning on me at a very unpleasant and dangerous rate at this moment. To the point that one of them actually came rushing up towards me, but I got lucky and was able to kill him. The other thing is that at the end of this, at the back end of the third terminal, there's a grenade supply that you can constantly have full grenades on, so it's not too much of a worry about being short on grenades. And then this werewolf decided to be an asshole and dropped down in front of me as I was trying to absorb some animus and get my health back up. But finally I managed to kill that room closing and spawning more guys in. But I believe that the first door closed and spawned in more guys. I'm not really sure where these guys came from, so I kind of retreated into this room so I could deal with guys, and that dude went flying because of that grenade. That was actually kind of cool. I don't know where he actually landed, but when you destroy the second terminal, I kind of run back to this room again because another 2 Black Horse soldiers spawn in. So being as far away from them as I can so I can unload my weapon on will come in handy. But once all 3 terminals are down, run to that aniform device, put animus into it, since the werewolves are going to be invisible and they're going to kill all the Black Order soldiers. Try and have a full animus reserve to the point where you can't absorb anymore. Run to the aniform device and just keep holding Y to put the animus in. If you have a full tank, as you'll see, I'm able to fully overload the thing, and congratulations, you've been legendary on the hard difficulty. And I'll see you for the next guide for whatever the hell it's gonna be. Peace.